And we are live, I think. I hope.
How's everybody doing?
All right, so I think this thing... Oh, look, it does give me comments. Hey, Taliesin, good to see ya.
Yeah, I'm kind of a StreamYard veteran, so I know to watch the comments on the right. It's nice. It aggregates everybody's stuff from Facebook and YouTube and everything.
Yeah, so guys, well, first of all, I should introduce my esteemed co-host for this live stream. This is Jeff Hayes. For those of you who aren't aware, Jeff Hayes is the guy who did the... well, first of all, he's the founder of Sound Booth Studio. And next of all, he is the guy who did the narration and a lot of the voices for... Oh, no, it kicked me out. For Deep Madness Shattered Seas, the audio and deep dive versions.
Right.
So,
yes, sir.
Hi from Belgium. Good to see you, Renaud.
That's such a cool name, Renaud.
So,
yeah.
And here is the fancy new app that he just had.
Yes.
He just released.
It's so cool to see that on people's phones. You know, it's interesting being a content creator, and I remember first becoming a content creator and realizing that people were buying my stuff, you know, and that it was like a thing that was culturally available, you know.
Yeah.
And
hey, Dan, good to see you.
All of those instances,
keep going, Jeff.
All of those instances were like, you know, published in other places. So it was still a cool feeling to have my stuff go up on other platforms, but then like now having an actual app where people go, you know, it's, I don't know, it's just a bigger cultural footprint, I think, which is, you know, I think that's a good thing, you know.
Thanks, Stu.
So yeah, I hope people are enjoying it. I hope people are sending in their comments, sending in bug reports, keeping in touch with us whenever they have issues. You know, this is a brand new app. It's a brand new thing for us to be developing an app, even though, like, technically we're not the actual developers. We just paid for it and directed them to do what we needed done. But you know, it's a frustrating and it's a frustrating process, especially for somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're doing.
But having said that, Jeff is also the reason that we are currently on Facebook and YouTube, because he turned me on to this StreamYard thing, which is also why we're able to do the split screen thing. So, oh man, okay, we've got some awesome people here. So let me just go through comments real fast here.
Right.
Hey, Taliesin, good to see you. I might have said hi already. Victor, hi, good to see you. Bonsoir, Squall, and thank you, Pedro. I'm sure Jeff appreciates that about the app.
Oh yes,
Russ, great to see you, man. So Russ is the guy who helped make, where is it? Helped make this possible. So Russ is a...
Uh-oh. I'm alone. I'm not even the host of this. Okay, well, it's all right. I can talk to you guys while Byron is figuring out what happened there. Oh, here he is. Here he is. All right, he's back. I got scared. I was scared and alone.
I have no clue what just happened. So that's cool.
I'm gonna try and find a place with no glare. Jesus.
But yes, Russ was instrumental in editing Shattered Seas. So
I see.
Always like to give him a shout out when he shows up. And then Stu, good to see you, and thank you. We appreciate that. Seth, good to see you, buddy. Seth just released an awesome review of Shattered Seas, which I very much appreciate. Brian, good to see you, man. Miguel, good to see you. The sheer madness, absolutely. Byron just doing his best to scare Jeff. Yes, that is correct, Brian.
Yes, deep madness spirit. That's correct.
Yeah, pretty much.
We started the stream off thematically. So yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. from those of you who have tried the app, from those of you who have tried the audio drama, the deep dive of Shattered Seas, the audiobook, any of that. And one thing I'd like to start off with is making fun of myself for my accent, for my English accent. You know, it's really funny. I do a decent, you know, I've been able to do a decent English accent for a while. But right after I narrated Deep Madness Shattered Seas, I started my entire crew on English accent lessons. And we hired one of the most famous accent coaches out there. Her name is Amy Walker. You guys might have seen her video on YouTube. It's called 21 Accents. And she posted that like more than a decade ago. It's got more than 5 million views, but she's like incredibly talented. And she knows every little detail about our mouths, how they make sound, our vocal cords. And she's just able to pick up on just all the slightest things that really make an accent sound authentic. So I actually narrated Deep Madness right before I started taking those lessons. And so now when I listen to just the narration, when I just listen to myself, not everybody else, I think everybody else did amazing. But when I listen to myself, I'm picking out little things. It's like, And I think when I first gave you that sample, Byron, of that little bit from I think it was the art book.
Yeah.
For Deep Madness, when I sent you that sample and you released it to your backers to have them check it out. One of your backers, someone
called you on it. That's right.
One of your backers called me out on it, man, and I appreciated that. They said pin the tail on the geographical donkey or something, trying to figure out where the accent came from. Yeah, that happens, man. When actors, try and pick up an accent, they just sort of go off of what they've heard over all the years, and they just sort of piece it together, especially when they're putting it on, when they're trying to perform as it with that accent. So that typically happens when someone is from a place with an accent, and with as many accents as the UK has. I imagine he didn't necessarily think I wasn't, English at all, but like he could have been just saying, where is this guy from? Because the UK just has so many different accents. Like almost every few blocks, you're going to find a new one. So it's possible that he gave me that benefit of the doubt. But that was one big challenge, and probably my least favorite thing about the entire deep dive is my narration. But other than that, I'm so proud of what we accomplished within 3 months of production, and I'm really hoping that you guys are having a good time with it.
So Russ says that once he gets a chance to listen to it, he will thoroughly critique you because he's a Brit.
Good.
Seth, live reading or demo coming up? I think that's a great idea, Seth. And I thought about that right about the same time you left this comment. I think I thought of it before that too, but I forgot to mention it to Jeff.
What is it? Say. Okay, what is it?
Well, so he's wondering if there's a live reading or demo coming up, oh man, is it possible for us to play a clip from the deep dive, Jeff? Like on the stream?
Let me see if I can find a way to do that. You know what I would have to do? I would have to go to my other computer. If you don't mind me popping in and out real quick.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I think that's a great idea.
I'll be right back, guys.
Give people a sample.
That's true. All right.
Byron should do a one-man show reading the book. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate your confidence. Seth, is the deep dive and audiobook available in the same app? Yes, they are. In fact, I've got both of them downloaded in the app right now. So like if you go, let's see, my device library. No, they're not in here right now. But yes, so you are able to have both the audiobook and the deep dive downloaded at the same time. Everything looking okay, guys? Everything sounding okay? I'm, like I said, this is kind of an experiment, so. But so far, it seems to be doing pretty good, apart from me just randomly popping out of the broadcast. But, yeah, so, good. Glad to hear it, Brian. So Russ is saying that I should tell everyone the inspiration for the Irish priest on YouTube is flawless. Sweet. Nice. Okay, we've got Jeff back here, so I'll add him back into the stream. But yeah, so the Irish priest in Shattered Seas, Connor, he came from several different sources. I'd wanted to do a kick-ass priest for a while, or preacher. He's technically a preacher. So I combined him with, or I took a couple different inspirations. The first one was I combined the two main characters from the TV show Preacher. Jeff, can't hear you. It looks like you're on, so it might be on your end here. But yeah, so he's Jesse, and shoot, what was the Irish vampire's name? Hey, Dos De La Rosa, thanks for stopping by, man. Good to see you. Yeah, I know it only allows 720p. I could have gotten the 1080p, but that would have cost more money. So 720p it is for now, at least.
Right. How is this?
Oh, there we go. I hear you, Jeff.
Oh, great. Okay.
You're a little quiet, but I hear you. But yeah, so he's Jesse, and oh man, why can't I remember his name? It's gonna bug me. Cassidy. Thank you, Michael. Cassidy from Preacher. But then he also has a little bit of inspiration, at least in my heart, from the preacher from the movie Dead Alive. I kick ass for the Lord. So, yeah. Those are a couple of his inspirations there.
All right. So one thing that I'm having trouble with, I hear myself just a little bit in my...
Yeah, that's a pain.
So what I think I'm going to do is I'll just turn myself off, my own mic, when it's time to actually play back something. So what's a good chapter? What's a good spot that you want to hear?
I don't know. What do you think? I mean, the first chapter is great. Or, see, man, where were some really highlights in the audiobook? The end of chapter 5 was awesome.
End of chapter 5? Okay.
I don't know how deep we want to get because of spoilers, but I mean, we certainly could too.
Yeah, we can also get requests from the audience for little scenes. If there's anybody
good plan
to it, or maybe Russell would like to request something since he edited it. He knows what's going to happen, but he hasn't heard it yet. Maybe.
So what? Real quick here, Gabriel, you're asking, is it possible to add stuff in the Dawn of Madness PM? Yes, it is. So you're going to want to send me an email. If your pledge manager's locked down, just send me an email and I'll help you. I'll help you get that done. So it's Byron at Diemensiongames.com. And actually, there was someone higher in the stream who asked that too, and I forgot to get back to them. Gabriel. Gabriel asked, is it okay to add stuff in the PM? And the answer is yes. Just if it's already shut down, just send me a message and I'll get it added to you. Yeah, it was Gabriel in both cases. Never mind. But yes, so you can definitely still add that stuff. But anyways, as you were, guys. Sorry.
Someone suggested the prologue, but I think they're talking about chapter 1. If there's
Brian, are you talking about chapter 1, or are you talking about the actual intro briefing alpha thing where it's like the dude talking? Russ is saying do the start of the book. Oh, you want the briefing? Yep, he wants the log intro.
Okay, you guys do this?
For Golden Dawn.
Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
It is with a heavy heart we must report that the Kadath deep-sea mining facility has been destroyed under decidedly suspect circumstances.
Were you guys able to hear that?
Yep, I heard it.
Great.
Following the discovery and retrieval of a singular artifact from a nearby fissure on the ocean floor, communications with Kadath were mysteriously severed. An investigation unit was dispatched to ascertain the cause of the station's silence. Shortly after their arrival, however, the facility was annihilated, presumably taking the team and their findings with it. However, it has now become evident that the Kadath story did not end with the structure itself. A spatial anomaly has recently been discovered at Ground Zero, which seems to have begun emitting strange particle waves into the surrounding ocean. All available land operation and Golden Dawn resources are now being redirected to the study of this singular phenomenon. We appreciate your understanding during this unique situation and expect your complete cooperation as we fully explore this matter. May we all yet bask in the Golden Dawn's glow.
Briefing Alpha. Chapter 1. Seething Waters.
Here's some material to criticize me on, Russ.
Our world. In the depths
of the battle. Oh, sorry.
Pummeled,
my bad. I was your comments.
Blind, capricious currents. Connor felt his mind shatter. Or was it the other way around? Connor burst through the ocean surf with a gasp. Salt water stung his eyes and assaulted his cuts as he flailed in the brine, his hair and clothes adhering like papier-mâché to his skin. The man jerked his head from side to side, trying to orient himself as his thoughts slid like chunks of ice amidst angry waves. How was he here? What was happening to him? And where was land? Connor's pupils were dilating and contracting at random, bringing the world in and out of focus. During a lucid moment, though, he thought he could make out a white sand beach in the distance. Forcing his body to move, to comply, he started paddling toward where he hoped the shore would be. His limbs moved spastically, his muscles jittering with spasms. His stomach lurched and rolled within him, but he tried not to focus on it. Or on the streaks of fire arcing through his muscles, or on the feeling that everything was horribly, monstrously wrong. It was only a few seconds later that his ears popped, and it was after this that he began to notice the sounds. He heard the waves, of course, as they beat one upon another, but he also perceived something else. Panic welling within him, Connor began to swim as fast as his malfunctioning limbs would take him, desperately willing his body to obey. He so hoped he had seen the shore. The world was still reeling in and out of focus like a punch-drunk wrestler. Something splashed in the water to his left. It was close. Connor forced himself to move faster, kicking his feet as hard as he could. The water grew warmer, and then the man felt seaweed and anemones brushing against his toes. A smooth, fleshy mass slid across his shin. The world burst into focus as sand enveloped his fingertips. Connor scrambled up onto the shore and whirled around to see what was behind him, falling on the wet beach with a thump. His heart stopped in his chest. Other people were crawling out of the surf. Or at least they had likely been people at one point. A 10-foot-tall man stumbled as he stood up, his arms and legs unnaturally long, like taffy that had lost its shape. As he gained his feet, though, his torso bent backward, his hands splashing down into the waves as his body became an inverted human U. Then his head drooped downward, his mouth elongating further and further until his hair drug in the sand. A woman, meanwhile, rose from the waves. As she did, however, her legs dissolved, her shins ripping off at the kneecaps before her thighs disengaged from their sockets. Her waist was the next to go, leaving ropes of intestines trailing out behind her. Even still, she advanced, pulling herself forward on arms that cracked and shifted. Then, the crab legs slid out from the depths of her guts, and as she looked back at her new appendages, she screamed. Connor felt his whole body threatening to seize up on him. His mind couldn't process the horrors he was seeing. Perhaps that was why it was some time before he saw the thing.
All right, the thing, and that's a good place to stop.
Though it's after that we get into like the music and stuff. So.
Oh right. Yeah, we can go to a later place. I think Russ suggested.
Yeah, Russ had a couple ideas.
At the top of the tower. How about the?
Yes, this is the drama version we were listening to. What was that?
What was that one character with no lips that kind of guided everybody once they got to the top of the tower?
The Wayfinder. The Wayfinder was awesome.
Yeah. How about
you guys did a great job on that?
You guys want to listen to him? See, what is that? Chapter 6?
No, that's 7. I'm double checking.
Chapter 7.
I think.
Upward.
Our teams have been able to reach several of the most active hot zones, and in almost every one we have found at least a single hyperactive conduit. We have been able to cull many of these exemplary units and transport them to Leng facilities for further studies. Initial results have shown these to be some of the most receptive specimens for fusion experiments that we have encountered.
You're probably going to want to fast forward a bit, Jeff.
The 20th century.
Dr. Jace Norton.
It's about halfway through the chapter.
It was kind of a challenge for me to do all those voices at the beginnings of the chapters with the recording, since the characters don't show up in the rest of the story, so I had to kind of make shit up as far as a voice and an accent and everything. I had to make that up with almost no reference, and they had to all sound different. They had to not sound like people that we actually meet.
Yeah, I noticed that too, Timothy. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Oh, I think I know what it is. I think it's because I have what I'm using to. Sorry, this is. It's hard for me to talk because I'm hearing myself. I have loopback on, so I think it's playing your voice back to you. Let me see.
Yeah. Okay, so going back through some comments here real quick. Because I know I missed a couple. Glad you received your novel. Oh, great! I think it's gone. Glad you received your novel, Toto. That's great. And thank you, Brian. I appreciate you saying the great job on the wordery. Okay, Morgan. So your question, though, that was one I wanted to get back to. So you said, what will it take to get my Kickstarter rewards? Never received anything. Could you give a little more context? Is that for Deep Madness? Is that for Shattered Seas? Is that another campaign. So let me know about that in the comments, because I didn't want to miss you there. And then Toto, you also mentioned here too, a shame the game I received was in a different language. So was that Deep Madness? If so, Deep Madness only came in English, but then it had translation packs. So if you were supposed to get a translation pack, then let me know about that too. I just wanted to hit those real quick.
All right. Still getting an echo. But at least it's louder, right? A little bit louder, and you're not echoing, right?
I'm not hearing an echo anymore. I was hearing myself a little bit, but...
Well, let's try this then.
Okay, so Morgan...
Chapter 7.
Okay. So Deep Madness. So you never got any of the Deep Madness stuff, Morgan? You both sound good now. Sweet. Okay, so Morgan, if you didn't receive anything, you need to send an email to beatmadness@dimensiongames.com, which I just posted in all the comments. Oh, wait, no, I just posted it on Facebook. That's not going to work. I mean, that might work. Post it everywhere.
Yeah, Russell did comment on my accent. He wasn't poking enough fun, in my opinion, but that's all right. Okay, let's see if we can find that scene where the Wayfinder pops in.
Connor heard something crack in the ship's underbelly as it hit the sea.
Much later than that.
Yeah, this is chapter 7, so it must be 8? Or
no,
9?
It is 7. It is 7.
7.
It's just later in 7. It's near the end of 7. Vincent says, can you do the audio for all my audiobooks?
Depends on if we can sell them.
What is this?
This is a good spot.
Are we still in the tower? It doesn't matter. We can't stay here.
Yeah. This is pretty close.
They stepped out into a corridor that looked industrial and robust, like one would expect to find in a space station or a deep-sea facility. Water dripped from the ceiling, then slid between the holes in the grating on the floor and disappeared. But the hallway's most striking highlight was the stuff clinging to its crannies and spreading
just now
across its
noticed the
ceiling like a
drips.
fungal contagion. Looking up, Connor saw one of the gangrenous growths burst.
Jesus!
Inside was an eyeball, which stared down at him from the center of a wreath of flexing, serrated teeth. Slowly, cautiously, Min, Mitsuko, and Connor advanced. At the corridor's end, they tapped what they took to be the control of the hatch, which slid into the wall. They stepped through the open portal, and it swished closed behind them. They found themselves standing in a round room with numerous hatches lining its circumference. A grated pathway ran around the perimeter as well, but the centerpiece of the room was what was truly noteworthy. "Welcome, travelers," the strange being before them said, its deep, flat voice sounding like empty oil barrels and rusty, barbed wire. "What brings you to the Nexus?" "You speak? You're a conscious being?" "What is this place?" The creature shifted in its cradle of tubes, pistons, and harnesses. Its multitude of increasingly mechanical arms flitted around it, each performing their own task in the larger apparatus as the being seemed to focus its attention on the 3 new arrivals. The top 2/3 of its head almost looked like a pyramid made of either stone or dusty metal, while the lower third appeared at least moderately human. Its lips were shriveled and pulled back from its gums, giving it a ghastly appearance not at all helped by the black oil spilling over and between its teeth. Its jaw made a dry, cracking sound as it opened afresh.
As I said before, this is the Nexus, and I am its wayfinder. All the memories flow through here. All of the lives coalesce in this place to become one.
What do you mean? What are you? What are we doing here? Why?
Min put a hand on Connor's shoulder. Apologies for all of our questions, Wayfinder. We are just a little confused and overwhelmed, which is why we have rudely not yet answered your question. We are here in an attempt to flee from this world. We traveled to the edge of this realm, and we know escape that way is impossible. So, we came as high up this tower as we could, hoping to find a way out through here. Do you know of such a way? The Wayfinder cocked its head to the side, its teeth clacking together. It almost looked like its desiccated lips smiled.
There is a way out of this existence, but you may not like it. You must continue your voyage skyward into the tower's greatest heights. There you will discover your path to freedom, festering in a relic from when this world began. But take care. You cannot make it alone, and you will cease to trust everything.
Yes. Love it. Let me switch my inputs.
So that was the Wayfinder.
There we go.
Glad you guys liked it.
Alright. Is it still working?
And Miguel, so just wanted to hit your comment here real fast. The Spanish translation ran into some hitches. Specifically, we thought it was being translated with the rest of the translations, but the translator got really sick, and so he wasn't able to finish it. And so we are currently honing in on a new translator. So unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit longer before we can get that Spanish translation out to you. But it is in the works. We just, unfortunately, we weren't aware of what was going on there, and he wasn't able to get that done. But it is on the way. So, and look, this Megatron and Decepticons.
Yes. So, guys, I don't know why I'm still getting this echo. I need to fix this. One sec. What about now? Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, I fixed it. So yeah, guys. So one thing I also wanted to talk about today is just how frustrating of a process it was to launch this book, launch our platform, and then the apps weren't out. And they kept taking longer and longer as they were coming through. And I actually did watch your guys' comment section on the Kickstarter. So I was trying to gauge how you guys felt about it, and I saw a lot of frustration about the fact that we don't make the audio available to download as an MP3. And I totally feel your pain on that. One thing that I would have liked to avoid was any kind of DRM process. I'm the kind of user who likes to be able to download the things that I buy and play it however I want to. I totally get that frustration. But at the same time, short of actually programming or asking the devs to program some fancy kind of DRM to go with our files. What we did instead was make it to where you can only listen to it, you can only download it into your app, right? So in one way, okay, that eliminates some hassle for us and eliminates some cost as far as applying DRM, but at the same time, it meant that, okay, you guys aren't getting functionality for a while, for the first month. So, that's just kind of how it turned out. And eventually we do want to start making MP3s available to you guys. It's just us just starting out with this platform. We want to at least have some protection against piracy, and obviously pirates going to pirate, right? They know how to get anything off of anything. So we're going to get our stuff pirated. It's just a question of how easy are we going to make it for anyone. Can grandma pirate it? Right? No. Good. All right. That's kind of like our measurement, right? Like, how easy is it to actually get the files and spread them out, I'm really happy that I was able to make this available to all these people, all of you guys who can listen to it now for free. I like that we made this deal with Byron. What we need right now as a budding publisher is more people, more traffic going through the site, more people sharing their experience, leaving reviews, and giving us feedback on how we're doing as far as a service. So for all of you who were patient, thank you so much. I hope that it was worth the wait. I hope that the app is working out for you guys, and that you were able to get your deep dive and listen to it, or the audiobook version. And for those of you who were upset and maybe gave up, I'm sorry. I saw a few users that were just seemingly inconsolable about the whole thing, and I'm sorry that you guys had a bad experience. It's just it's been a tough process.
So as Jeff's been talking, I've been seeing your comments here. So first of all, Timothy, because I realize I probably haven't gotten to a lot of your stuff here. Loving all your comments here. And I saw your email the other day, and I'm going to get back to you, and I'm sorry I haven't gotten back to you yet. But so this Shattered Seas is a prequel / sequel / in-between-quel for Deep Madness and Dawn of Madness. So it kind of bridges the gap between the two in some ways, and in other ways also kind of pushes everything forward further, which I think, because you've read the book, I think. But so yeah, hopefully that helps a little bit. It's kind of all of them, which is why it's hard to pin down.
Right. Well, time doesn't really work the same way in this universe, yes, apparently. Exactly. So the word prequel kind of has no meaning at that point.
Right.
It happens before they open the gates, but when they opened the gates, everything already happened. I don't know. When did it come? I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's a loop. It's an Ouroboros of time. Yeah. So.
And great to see you, Phil. Welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. So. Yeah, so does anybody else have any other questions about the production? Anybody again who listened through all the way, or maybe who's only listened to a little bit of it? Anything else? I'm actually, one question I have for Byron is if we are getting more stories. I mean, someone just said, yes, I read the book and totally want more. Yeah, me too.
Here's hoping, guys. Let your voices be known. And I guess that's all I have on
that. Okay, Philip Blake actually asked something that Byron and I have been talking about. Was there going to be a Dawn of Madness treatment with the app where you can select the entry you want since it doesn't read in chronological order? Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. There was a different question. Or
yeah, so what you're thinking...
Hold on. Oh, yeah, super ambitious idea. This is Sharky. Dawn of Madness entries getting this deep dive treatment as well. And yeah, that's what... I mean... Byron and I have been talking about that, and it was kind of one of the reasons why we wanted to use this audio drama as kind of a test run. See if our style fits Deep Madness and the rest of the aesthetic of the book, and of the board game. And we haven't gotten any real complaints about the production itself, so I think we were successful on that front. Byron, do you have anything else to say about audio for Dawn of Madness?
It is something we are absolutely looking into and talking with Jeff about. And hopefully we will have more information on that in the not too distant future.
Let's see what else we got here. Would you advise against reading it before finishing the core game? Do you think it'd be better to read the book first, listen to the audiobook, or listen to the deep dive, or do you think play the game first?
Okay, so there is a brief spoiler panegiotis in the first page.
Okay.
Of the book. But as long as you can get past that spoiler, then the rest of it doesn't matter at all. And honestly, I only kind of call it a halfway spoiler because, as you'll see as you read through the rest of the book, who's to say what reality this is even taking place in?
Right. Yeah. It could be not a single thing is canon.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I think you're probably safe.
Russell Groves asks, how did you find switching between the English and Irish? I know it can easily mingle together. Yeah. So that's the thing about accents, is that there's so many of them that have common sounds. Like, for instance, another accent pairing that they bleed into each other is like German and French. Weirdly enough, right? Because they have different root languages, but because of that, I can't remember what it's called. The R that's in the back of the throat, the R, that R, the French and German uses. Like just kind of using those common sounds can cause me to accidentally slip one way or the other. But Irish to me isn't really one of those compared to English. Like not in the same way that Australian and Cockney do. Those two accents bleed into each other a lot. But like English and Irish, I think are different enough to not be a problem for me. That being said, the Irishman that we heard on the recording we were just listening to was a real Irishman and not me. That was Gary Furlong. He's one of our many very talented actors in our troupe. But if you listen to the audiobook, I did his voice. So like if the audiobook is all me, the deep dive is me plus all the other actors filling in all the other roles.
And he does a really great Irish accent in the actual audiobook. Just saying.
But,
yeah.
It's different though. It's different though. Gary, so the Connor in the audiobook, I went with Dublin because that's I don't have I haven't practiced a Northern Irish accent. So Dublin is just the first accent that I go towards when someone says, "Hey, I need an Irish accent." But then when I had Gary running through it and he asked me, "Do you want Northern or Dublin?" I was like, well, I haven't really even thought about it because it's not even a choice for me. So he did both, and Northern just sounded more like that character. So we went with that instead of Dublin.
So, Panagiotis, I saw your comment here. I just read the first page on Amazon Preview. Oh no! Well, then you're fine. Just read the rest of the book. You're good.
Russell says, I find American Irish is easier to roll into English. Proper Irish is harder to muddle. American Irish? That was something I talked to Byron about when we were editing. Are you saying that there's like an American version of an Irish accent?
Apparently, I'm pretty good at American Irish, but not so good at actual Irish.
Huh. Are you meaning like Newfoundland? Isn't it Newfoundland that has kind of the Newfies that have a kind of an Irish accent? Nova Scotia, not Newfies. I'm not. Yeah, please elaborate, Russell, on the American Irish accent. But Sharky says, I would just point to the ISS Vanguard app with its log entries for something similar for Dawn of Madness. I will definitely pick it up. I've been doing a lot more board game research ever since we started doing stuff for Deep Madness. I've always liked games. I've always liked tabletop games, board games. But, I've had to push them out of my life to be a functioning, responsible human being. So now that it actually is part of work now, and I'm, one of the reasons I wanted to make a relationship with a board game company or any kind of gaming company is so that we could so that I could serve my authors better. We have... I don't even know how many authors. We have a lot of authors, and some of them have really successful series. So their IP is worth a lot. And, if I can find the right people to work with, maybe I can introduce them to board game companies that can make stuff out of their IP. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of board game research now, trying to figure out what's popular now, what kind of mechanics are popular now, why. I've been doing a lot of that research, and ISS Vanguard was one of the ones that I was like, okay, I got to check that one out. Another one was Etherfields. I got don't tell Ninja off duty, but I got him Etherfields for Christmas. Oh fuck, he's right here.
He just got on the stream.
He just commented.
Oh, Jeff!
God damn it!
I should have said something.
God damn it!
Surprise, Bill!
Surprise, Bill! You mother! All
right. Christmas surprises ruined right here all day, ladies and gentlemen. Bill might now be a good time to bow out.
Russell says, proper English and proper Irish you can tell sometimes easier than others due to both the sound and the wording's phrases. Local phrases and words and the harshness of tone at times is easy to spot. Okay. Awakened Realms did really great work on the Tainted Grail audio app. Yes. Okay, so that was another one that I saw. I actually really want to play that game. It looks awesome.
It's
Tainted
fun.
Grail. You've tried it already?
Yeah.
So that's something I want to check out. Let's see. Wouldn't be a proper Byron stream without a secret getting let loose.
Yep,
As a Brit,
exactly.
I do often find English accents most amusing in TV shows. Actually, one of my favorite things is bad American accents by Englishmen. Oh, that stuff is gold. That is like, I wish that I could watch a TV show of all English actors who are bad at American accents playing Americans. Like, one thing I have to say about the Brits is you guys have an excellent education system when it comes to drama, when it comes to acting. Like, it feels like, more English actors are actual craftsmen rather than just people who want to be famous. English actors tend to get their accents right more often, Englishmen or Australians. So, hey, that's a good suggestion. Get me a secret Christmas gift, Byron.
I think I'm a little too broke for that, Panagiotis.
So yeah, I don't know. I just tend to take Englishmen a little more seriously when it comes to acting, and they do such a great job playing Americans. I mean, maybe it's just that our accent is easier. I don't know, but yeah. So let's see, what else did we? Yeah, all right. So yeah, cool. Any more questions from you guys? I love talking to people who want to know more about what we do, and it's funny. There's not a lot of production companies out there doing what we do, audio dramas. Like we call them deep dives because audio drama sounds boring, and because deep dive kind of has a little more relevance to what we're usually doing. We especially live
Deep Madness,
especially with Deep Madness, right? But also the meat and potatoes of our content is in a genre called game lit or lit RPG, which is basically stuck in a video game fiction. Like Ready Player One, I'm sure most of you have seen or read that book or seen that movie. That is basically the progenitor of the entire genre. It's just what if video games were a much bigger part of our culture to a point where people were living there. Yeah, and so there's a lot of VR. There's a lot of VR in the stories that we produce audiobook versions of, and so a deep dive just makes sense. It's like if you want a more immersive experience, you want to deep dive into the actual fiction, then yeah, you get more sound effects, you get more music. But that's the fact that there's not very many audio drama production companies out there makes it kind of tough. It's not a lot of pedigree, and not a lot of people know what to expect or have expectations of it. There's not a lot of talent to pull from, but I think that has to do with more about the excitement that people in this industry have, and their willingness to be creative and reach a little bit further, in order to get people's attention. And again, that's what we're trying to do here. Board games, people who play board games, I think, are more willing to listen to audio, like just audio, than someone who might just be used to cruising Netflix all the time. I mean, that's what I do. I'm more of a Netflix guy than an audio listener, right? But rather than just accepting that and letting this be my job and just I do something that I don't care about for a living, instead what I'm trying to do is transform my own content into stuff that I would listen to, stuff that I do want to sit and enjoy. Like, dude, I don't know how many times over the past couple months I've kind of stopped working and listened to Deep Madness, just to listen to it again and just to hear what we've done again. Not the same feeling with an audiobook, right? Where the production is minimal and we don't have a lot of work to do in it, and we're not creating dramatic tension. We're not elaborating. We're letting the listener do all the imagination work, and that's fine. That's fine for most people. That's how they like to enjoy audiobooks. But for the people making it, the only person having any fun is the narrator, and that's only if they're cool enough to have fun while they're doing it. There's a lot of narrators who are like, yeah, this is my job. I read books. I can't do that. I can't work. It's a blessing and a curse. Like, I have a hard time making myself do work. So if the work is fun, great. I'm in good shape. I'll be performing really well, and everyone's going to be happy with me. if I work somewhere where I don't like my job, people at my job aren't going to like me very much. So as long, I got to do it myself. I got to make sure that I maintain my own motivation while I do my job. Let's see. Groves. Okay, Russell says, Jeff, are you one of those people that can start to pick up an accent easily when you're hearing a convo, and after a day or two, you can start to sound really good for a little while? Yeah, I think the thing about voice acting, it really is about how good of a listener you are, or acting in general. It's about how much are you absorbing, how much are you from your observations of other people. How much can you pick up on? What kind of details? And a lot of people, there's some people that it just naturally clicks with them. And I think I'm in the higher percentile of people that can absorb an accent and mimic it. But I definitely still have my insecurities about it. And I'm definitely very shy when it comes to performing poorly. So if I'm not confident in an accent, and I'm in public, if I'm like hanging out with people and someone were to just say, just call out an accent, I might be able to give it a go, but I also wouldn't have the confidence to do a good job. But I am good at least listening and picking up certain things. It requires me to go to a coach to really refine it. Because there's just stuff that I just don't pick up on while I'm talking, or sometimes I'll develop a comfortable pattern of speech within an accent that's not in the accent. Like it just feels good to do it that way, or for some reason I've tricked myself in my brain to think that is how the accent goes, and it's not. And it takes me going to a coach, because so many people are pussies about giving me criticism. I have to go to a coach and get those details. So, Philip Blake, is there any plans to do a voiceover for any of Byron's writing in the Deep Madness scenarios, the intros and outtakes? Been really enjoying his writings in Oracle's Betrayal. No current plans, but Byron?
I mean, it's something we haven't really talked about much. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know if there's enough of it, like, to make it worth your guys' time is the only thing. Like, it would be super cool. And and Brian Sharkey points out a little lower here, Backer did do a few of them. But yeah, I mean, it would be awesome. I don't know if there's enough to them to really.
Yeah, well, if it sounds like a good idea to you guys, start demanding it, I guess. Tell Byron you'll pay for it, and maybe something will happen. Other than that, though, it could be another part of the discussion later after Dawn of Madness releases, and after we've already gotten a little bit more practice actually getting into sound for board games. I mean, I'm kind of assuming that's what he's talking about, like a companion reader for. So each Deep Madness scenario has a story before it and a story after it. Mm-hmm. At least in the core game, and then all the major expansions. There's a few that only have like a paragraph or something, but there's only like a couple of pages per scenario. So I mean, it wouldn't be. Oh, Wallace, I'm sorry to hear that. I will get back to you on that, buddy. We'll get that taken care of for you. But anyways. So there's that's the only reason I'm not sure. Like, it would be cool. Like, I'm totally down for it. I'm totally down. Well, okay. So in order for us to actually do audio for Dawn of Madness, we kind of have to mess with the app a bit and get it, get a kind of slightly different structure than if you were to just listen to an audiobook or a deep dive, right?
Yeah.
With those, they're completely linear. You just have chapter titles and it's all on a list, right? But with something like Dawn of Madness, how thick is the book? Is it going to be kind of like that? And pages like that?
Yeah.
Like that. Boxes.
Let's just go right to the source. All right, so here's the rule book, and of that, we've got for the first chapter. Nope. There. Yes.
There. Yep.
Yeah. So that's like the start of it, and then that's the end of it. Nope.
Right.
Nope. Maybe there. Yes.
Yeah. So for Deep Madness, that's not very much, and that could potentially be linear. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of skipping around, right? But for Dawn of Madness, it will be, right? So I would say what we should do is, release the Dawn of Madness one. If you guys dig it, if it makes your experience better while you're playing Dawn of Madness, then maybe we can release a smaller, Deep Madness version that's a lot cheaper. Maybe there won't be as much demand for it, but at least if we can see that you guys like how we do Dawn of Madness, then we can try it out, give it a spin, see who picks it up. Okay. We're kind of behind. Byron's writing in Deep Madness. Okay, I've heard a lot of the archers in my youth, probably actors in my youth, unfortunately, which is a radio... What? What's a radio audio soap?
So I think Archers is a radio.
Oh, I see. All right. That has all the deep dive stuff constantly. I also liked the Torchwood audio dramas from back in the day. Torchwood.
Russ, Torchwood's awesome. Yeah, it's a Doctor Who spinoff.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But if you guys want an audiobook treat, apart from, of course, what Jeff does, his stuff is the best. But Brian, I was thinking of an FX Archer show. Yes, I will admit that was my first thought too. And I was like, there's audio dramas of Archer?
Oh, that would be amazing.
No. But you guys should check out the Alien dramas on
yes,
on Audible. Those things are freaking amazing.
They're great. They are directed by a guy named Dirk Maggs, who's
he's amazing.
He's one of my, he's probably my favorite audio drama producer out there. He also did Sandman, Neil Gaiman's Sandman. Yeah, which is what I'm listening to right now.
He's done several of Neil Gaiman's books now.
Really?
He did Good Omens too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So definitely check his stuff out.
Yeah, they're good. Jeff is better, but yes, they're good.
I will allow you to say that. Deep Madness backer actually did some audio recordings of the mission intros and outros. Huh. Well, Sharky, if you got a link to that, I'm sure people
he does, and he posted it a little bit later here, I think.
Okay. Yeah, here it is. Great. Yeah. Bill says it was a blast to be a part of for sure, and I've listened to it 4 times through now, not including the time I spent proofing it. Yeah. Yes. That's the thing. The people that are producing this thing are probably its biggest fans. Russell Grove, I have the exact same problem. If I have an audiobook on, I have to listen. Occasionally I can do some model building or painting while I listen. Yeah. I can do accents, but not enough confidence to be able to do it on the spot for people very often. Yeah. Let's see. Philip Blake, was aware of those, and they're pretty decent. Oh, right. Bill says your Python Gumby voice is on point, though. I'm going to operate. Yeah. What else, right? Okay, we got that.
That was something.
From talking to Byron about the amount of written content in Dawn, I think the voiceover companion would be better. Deep is only a paragraph to a page of each, so very short.
Yeah. So then Phil here is saying, I assume you would just have to treat each Dawn Madness entry as its own. So select book and app, then select entry. Yeah, exactly. That's what we've been talking about, Phil. Because you're going to be jumping around between hundreds of different numbers.
Right, and each person who's playing is following kind of a different story, right? So it's not as simple as everyone following.
So you're only going to be playing through one book in one game.
Oh, okay.
So you're only going to have to be in that one book for one game of Dawn of Madness. But then in the next game, you would switch to another book.
Okay.
So on and so forth.
There was one other problem that we were trying to figure out, though. It's like if one person, everyone's using the same book, but not everyone's following the same path. Right.
Yeah. So you can dive into different encounters at different times with different characters and have them all mixed and matched and jumbled together. Yes. Yeah. And then have one change another one, or something like that.
It's not as simple of a task as it may seem on the surface to create something in audio that'll work for the Dawn of Madness game. We have a lot of planning to do, especially with the devs. Oh man, developers, we gotta if we're gonna do this, and you guys are gonna get those board games in October, then we gotta start now on developing something for the app that will host it.
And yeah, Phil, you're absolutely right about that. So, oh really? So Games Workshop released a lot of the audio drama stuff, huh? That's
right. I still have yet to listen to that. Bill's recommended them to me multiple times. I still haven't gotten to it. Actually, let me look that up. Games Workshop.
Russ, so audio. You're mentioning the choose your own adventure type companion. You're actually, yes, exactly. So like there's another one of them. What's the name of it? It was released by it's harder to get Byron off topic when he has a partner in crime. It's true. But yeah, what is that? It's a pretty, I mean, it's a no frills app, but I think it was Cosmo released a couple of, they had just the most boring names, but it was like the adventure games or something, or the story games or something. But they had an app for it, and it was pretty good. Where you could go into a certain number and listen to the entries and that sort of thing. Wish I could remember what that is. What that app is. I know I have it on my phone somewhere. Oh well, not that big a deal.
So, does anyone else?
They're on their best behavior because you're here, Jeff.
That's not fair. Oh, behaving. Okay, you're not getting him off topic. I see. Okay, no, that's acceptable. I thought you were talking about like drinking and doing drugs and stuff. I was like, oh wait, no, I'm not a parent. It's all right. You can do what you want. Okay. Let's see. All right, so I just signed up on the Black Library. I left a link in there. That's the Games that's the Games Workshop audio dramas. So I'm really interested in these experiences.
So Joseph,
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Jeff. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just wondering if they have their own app, or if this is just MP3s.
There's a bunch of Games Workshop apps. I don't know if there's one for that specifically or not.
Let's see. Anybody have any suggestions as far as which one I should start with?
Well, so Joseph, I'm going to butcher your last name, man, and I'm sorry. Galazuski? I'm sorry. I apologize. He's the guy who did the audio dramas for Deep Madness on Facebook or YouTube. So check him out, guys. Here he is. He's in our stream.
Awesome. Okay, they're saying most of these are available on Audible, which it'd be cheaper to get it from Audible.
Bill, the Kraken Centipede was something that definitely made me smile. No spoilers for people who haven't read it yet, but and climbing into the head. Yes, I enjoyed writing that part too. Yes, the Kraken Centipede, though, that is one of my favorite monsters that I've ever come up with. I thoroughly enjoyed writing that thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up one of these Warhammer ones. Okay, let's see. I'm looking through Audible. There's some of them that are extremely popular, and there's some of them that have been like almost completely ignored. But let's see. I want to get a Chaos one. Here we go. Bacillarius Call, The Great Work.
Russ recommends the Eisenhorn novels or the Caiaphas Cain books as a great place to start. And Seth says, yum. I'm sure that means something, but that's just how I took it. Have a great day, Seth. Thanks for being here, man.
Which one of those is going to be Chaos? Caiaphas Cain or Eisenhorn?
Oh, Bill. I think when you say bathysphere, I think you mean bathophobia. And
yeah.
Jeff actually sent me an email, and that was the entire contents of it. Was just in the headline. Just said bathophobia, and then there was a picture of bathophobia inside it.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Dennis. I'm glad you're looking forward to Dawn of Madness. That's awesome, man. Hey, Anthony, good to see you on here. When do you think we might get another gameplay deep dive update for Dawn? It's a good question, Brian. So hopefully soon. Hopefully really soon. I know we're due for one. So yeah, I know we need to finish talking about the abominations too. So yeah, I hope that should be coming towards you guys before too long. I'm glad people have been enjoying them, so that's good.
Okay, I'm gonna get the Talon of Horus. We'll check that out. All right. Sorry, guys. You got me all. You reminded me of the Warhammer audiobooks, and I knew I had to check them out, and I just.
So, just for the record, I stayed on point. Jeff was the one who went off.
That's right.
So you guys might not have got me off on tangents, but you did succeed with Jeff. So congratulations.
Okay. So Russell asks, what were your favorite parts of the Shattered Seas novel? That's really tough. Because there's like my favorite stuff as far as production, like what we worked on, and my favorite stuff as a listener, which are almost the same thing, but not quite, because like, there's elements, like for instance, okay, one of my favorite things to do, because my roots are in music. Like I'm not a trained actor. I am good at this because I have an ear, and I have an ear because of music. So doing the music was my favorite part, and there's this tune that I called Janko Ironheart, and it plays in the tower Like it's in the first chapter. As soon as Mitsuko brings Connor back into the back, and they start going through the back of the hotel, you hear it in the background, and it happens again in the mall with the survivors, and that was something that I played and composed on guitar. I'm trying to get good at guitar. I suck at guitar right now, but I'm getting there. And Annie Ellicott, who actually plays Rachel in the deep dive, she's actually a jazz singer. She's an incredible jazz singer. Actually, she's probably my favorite singer. And she actually plays in Jeff Goldblum's jazz band. If you guys didn't know that Jeff Goldblum plays jazz, I wrote the song. I wrote some lyrics. I gave it to Annie. She made the song better. She performed it. We got our composer's father, who's a fiddle player, to play fiddle on that, and just getting that whole thing together and listening to it. That's probably my favorite thing about the whole audiobook to listen to. But as far as scenes in the deep dive, I think in that same chapter that we just listened to, in chapter 8 or 7, in chapter 7, when what's her name, the doctor comes back.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Sephora Jenkins.
Sephora, that part, right after, she has the child with her. She has the child with her. She's hanging out with the child.
No spoilers.
Yes, that was the most awful part, and that's probably why it was my favorite part. And I also really enjoy, I mean, I'm tooting my own horn here, and that's okay. But I really enjoyed playing as Sephora. It was just fun to play this kind of unhinged character that's completely not like me at all.
So about Sephora, so in the book there's a character named Sephora Jenkins. She becomes pretty important later on, especially. My friend actually, his name's Thomas Jenkins. Shout out Thomas, but he said that I should put a character named Sephora Jenkins in my book. And so I did. And then I gave him a copy of the book and I said, I'm sorry. Or I signed it, I'm sorry, and handed it to him. So he has no clue what's going to end up for Sephora yet, but I think it won't be quite what he had in mind.
Sharky says he's not shocked about Goldblum, about him being a jazz player. He plays piano. He sounds a lot like Thelonious Monk. His style.
I'm totally up for becoming Byron's malformation. Oh, and then Bill is pointing out the spaghetti and Cap'n Crunch audio as well.
Yes, lots of spaghetti. Spaghetti. All the spaghetti. You want tentacles? You want tentacles and audio?
Lots of spaghetti.
Break out the spaghetti.
Lots of spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are correct, Russell. He definitely has no clue, but he luckily enjoys horror, so I think he'll come to forgive me.
For what? No, dude. This is fun. All horror is so much fun to me. I dream of one day producing a horror film. That would be so great. I'm working towards that. Like, I'm starting to make friends in that industry now, and our studio is really shaping up to be a powerhouse. So it won't be long until we start doing music and sound effects and ADR and stuff for film and animation, and video games. So
sweet.
Horror though is always the best. It's always the best to work on. I think the only thing I would prefer to work on other than horror would be comedy. And even then, like comedy's infused in almost everything. So, going off for like, I wouldn't want to make a Dumb and Dumber audio drama, but like, anytime something is funny, that's what I'm probably going to be most passionate about working on.
Have you finished signing all the books? Nope.
Uh-oh.
My bad. But soon. And how are the books selling on Amazon? Hey guys, the book's out on Amazon. Honestly, Russ, I haven't even had a chance to take a look, really. It's been a pretty crazy few days, but Deep Madness from the monster's perspective. I don't know if that would be comedy, Brian. So I think like I immediately go to a Twisted or something, and I'm seeing like these thoughts like sliding around inside of each other. It would be very difficult to read. Very interesting, but very difficult to read. Maybe in that way it would be funny. But
Deep Madness from the monster's perspective. Done. Byron, get on this right now.
Just add a laugh track. Disemboweled. I moved on. Yes, I could see this.
Russell Groves, just do a Transformers-esque audio drama. You already got the Megatron voice. Which Megatron, though? There's been a few Megatrons. Which one is the one? I gotta be honest, the Megatron that I think of, and this just, call me a goof or whatever, but the Beast Wars Megatron is the one that I always hear.
Oh, man. Yeah. I haven't thought about that one in a while.
He has that more smooth and debonair sort of delivery. Yes,
he always did that. Yes, but then the Megatron from the original. Yeah, fucking Starscream, you son of a bitch. That gets grating. That's why I don't like to think of it. Yeah, Gen 1. That's the first Megatron. Was tempted to knock up a scenario, maybe mock up, where you play as monsters hunting down the investigators.
No, Phil.
Yeah,
Phil
it does sound very.
She totally meant knock up.
Your knock up means a different thing than our knock up.
Maybe it doesn't.
Maybe you had a very specific process in mind here. Your auto go to is Twisted, no matter what it is. Yes.
That's actually not true. Like, I love Twisted, but I don't know. I have a really soft spot for bathophobia. Actually, there's several of them that I have a real soft spot for. Twisted's on there, but it's a ways down the list, I think. Though having said that, I mean, Twisted does show up at least once or twice.
What are we talking?
Once in Deep Madness. Twisted is
a monster.
This guy.
Right. That guy. Okay. I don't think Bill, did we ever play with him when we played Deep Madness?
Like the voice of comedic. Pretty sure knockup is the same here as well, says Russ. Pretty sure half the humans in DM are monsters anyways. Well, that's not inaccurate, Joseph. That is not inaccurate.
Oh wait, looks like I have a voice request here. Okay, Taliesin. All right, that sounds familiar. What is that from? Forget the Promise of Progress? What is that from?
Sorry, not to distract from what you're trying to accomplish, Jeff.
No, it's all right. It's all right. There's a delay in answers, so we'll see. There is only war. In the grim dark future, there's only war. What is that from? Is that Warhammer?
In the grim dark, yeah, that's Warhammer.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So, Warhammer likes to use a very specific type of voice for the Marines. They have this very, very deep and commanding and very forceful and zealous type of accent. And so I guess it would be, forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim dark future, there is only war. Like that. And then I can try like a different voice, like I don't know, shout something out. I could do an Irishman saying it. That'd be funny. Like the Connor from the audiobook. I want to talk about Connor because he was one character that I didn't have quite much of a handle on until later in the book as far as a personality. Because he's just kind of, he's timid and stuff at the beginning. He's freaked out. Obviously, that makes sense, and it's kind of hard to judge anyone's character when they're in that kind of state. But eventually, we start to see his moral backbone and all that. So for commissars in 40K, for a space marine, more menace for the Emperor. Okay. Can you tell me more about Connor and how you see him? Did Gary kind of capture that?
Oh yeah, I thought Gary did a really good job. No complaints about what Gary did. For me, Connor's probably he's one of my favorite characters in the book. He definitely is. But he's you're right. Like the first chapter, especially when you meet him, and even the second one that he's in, he's he's having a difficult go of things, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Actually, chapter 3 is that's another very close second as far as scenes that are my favorite. And again, it's Sephora. It's right after Connor passes out after being tumble dried in the hallways. And he wakes up and he's in sort of a laboratory or whatever. And I really like the way we handled that, because there's this, it's a quiet moment, but we added that sound of the fluorescent lights, right, and it creates like this kind of both gritty and sterile kind of feel. Mm-hmm. And there's just this awkward tension that's always there because of the buzz of those fluorescent lights. And then just the comedy of Connor's reaction to Sephora. She's like spouting off all this weird, we have to find order here. And he's like, yeah, okay. Right.
Great idea. Let's do that.
Yeah. Thank you for saving me, but can I go? It was a really, really well written scene, and Gary's performance is fantastic. And we had little opportunities to do improv and stuff in that scene as well. And it makes me inspired to do a little bit more. As we keep going. So for the process of directing the actors, I haven't been directing actors for very long. When I first started this company and we first started doing character voices by other actors besides myself, we were just sending the files back and forth to each other and hoping that we do a good job. But now I'm able to actually direct people in real time as they're recording, and I'm recording it directly to my program instead of them having to record it into their own and then send it to me, and then I have to like fit it in. No, I don't have to do any of that. It's just everything's there. They can listen. I can tell them how I want them to play it, and they do it, and it's in. It's very it's much more convenient, and we get better performances now that I can direct. So having said that, now we can do things like improvise. Now we can do things like, if there's a scene where there's supposed to be a lot of people yelling and being, under duress or whatever, then we can actually get our actors to improvise something underneath. Authors don't ever write out all the things that people are saying in a panic, right? So we can just have that as background, and that's one thing that distinguishes good audio dramas from great audio dramas is detail, and that's to do with almost every bit of art. Getting in there and getting the fine details and really is really how you make anything pop in any kind of realistic way or any kind of emotionally affecting way. Is getting those little details and improvisation, and making sure that our actors really are creating a scene. I think that scene in particular is a good example of that. Gary's deadpan delivery is funny as hell. Yeah. He also did a great job last night. So for those of you who don't know, Sound Booth Theater has their own YouTube channel, and we stream a show every 2 weeks, every 2 Thursdays. It's called Sound Booth Theater Live, and what we do is there's usually 3 or 4 of us, and we do author interviews, and we also have our own serial that we do once a month. Emily Labus, our communications manager, she wrote it. She writes it, and it's just 10, 15-minute segments. And right now, what we're doing is called American Fork, and it's like it's a true crime podcast. And so we get really great stuff out of that show. So if you guys are interested and you want to meet some more of the cast, see what we're like, you're willing to wade through the chaos of our personalities, visit search for Sound Booth Theater Live on YouTube. You can subscribe there, and we had a great show last night, a really great show. We had Shane Hensley on, who's the author of our new Christmas special, which is coming out tonight. It's called Kringle Down, and it's only $3. It's not quite 2 hours long, but it's a full deep dive, and it's amazing.
Nice,
so good, you guys. Please, if you're interested, please go to our website, sign up for the newsletter, so that you'll get notified when Kringle Down is out. But Shane Hensley is also. He also runs Pinnacle Entertainment, which is a game company that does I keep forgetting Deadlands, right? Deadlands, Wendigo Tales.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So his company does all tabletop RPGs, and he found us because of Deep Madness, right? He's one of your backers. But I mean, Pinnacle Entertainment's had more than 20 successful campaigns on Kickstarter themselves, right? So they're very experienced, and we partnered with them, and now Kringle Down is what Shane wrote. But we're going to be doing more Wendigo Tales stuff this coming year. Anyway, nice. He was on. He did an interview. He's a great guy. There's a sample of Kringle Down on there where you get to hear someone shoot a reindeer in the face. Yeah, so if you want that preview, go check out our YouTube channel.
Have a great night, Brian. Just in case you're still on, see you later, man.
The Irishman leprechaun from American Gods. Yeah, that guy is great. Is that who you were envisioning for Connor? Because he doesn't come off like tough like that.
No, he was one of the guys I was thinking of, but I really liked that character in American Gods.
Usually usually when I read a book, when I'm reading a script or preparing for any kind of audiobook or anything like that, an actor or a character that I've already seen pops into my mind to take the place of a character that I'm reading. And Connor, that didn't happen to me at all. Like I just never, no one popped into my head. So at least for the audiobook version, I just kind of did my generic Irish guy voice and kind of made him a little timid, and that's about it. But Gary's version is so much more fleshed out. By the way, Will Watt, he plays
yes. He plays
Will West. Yeah, he plays William West.
Yeah, William West.
Man, I had so much fun performing that character for the audiobook, but dude, Will Watt knocks it out of the park. Like,
yeah, he did a great William West.
Yeah, I thought I'd be a hard act to follow, but he definitely killed it, and I much prefer it. He's just I don't know if how many of you have listened already, but he is absolutely insufferable, but in the most entertaining way,
especially near the end. He did a great job. Yeah.
Well, hey guys, it is 5:30 here. I still have some more work to do, but I can probably hang out for another 5 minutes if you guys still want to ask questions or anything. But yeah, Byron, I don't know how you're doing on time.
I'm fine, but whenever you need to bounce, Jeff, go for it.
All right. Yeah, Russell, definitely take a look. Do you obviously Byron, do you have it for free on your app on your profile?
My profile?
Yeah, do you like is the audio, is the deep dive on your profile? Can you access it? Okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
So Russell
is myself.
Russell, if you want to sign up on our website, soundbooththeater.com, I don't know if you're a backer as well.
Russ is definitely a backer. Yeah.
Okay, so he should have access to it then if you just put in the code Kadath.
Generic Irish guy. Is that possible? Next you'll tell me you've created Welsh template.
Welsh is an accent I do not have. Oh my god, that shit is hard. It's like a milder version of Scottish, but not quite. And there's so many Welshmen who just kind of like develop a regular English accent, so it's kind of hard to study. Welsh template sheepshagger. Wow. Oh, wow. That's awful. It's awful.
Anything else you guys wanted to ask Jeff or anything before he has to take off here?
Yeah. I guess not. So, well, hey, thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I felt really bad about taking so long to get that app out, but it's out now. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying what we've done. If you do enjoy what we're doing, please, number one, check out more of our stuff on soundbooththeater.com. We have 21 titles right now, and by the end of tonight, we'll have 23. And then we have more than 150 titles on Audible. Or at least I do. There, you'll find the Sound Booth Theater brand. You guys, you'll find the Sound Booth Theater brand on Audible. Oh, right, Humble Bundles for GW Audio. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. So yeah, we still have our Launch 15 promotion happening right now. So if you guys buy 3 or more products from us on our website, then if you put in the code launch15, that's just the numbers 15, then you'll get 15% off your entire order. and that's only going to go through the end of 2020. So once 2021 starts up, then our prices are back to normal. And yeah, so check us out on our website. Check us out on Audible. Lots of good stuff for you guys. And
they also have a very cool version of Dracula that they're working on Sound Booth. So yes. I have a feeling that would be something of interest to you guys. So be sure to check out Dracula.
I've been meaning to get the deep dive version of it finished. We already have the audiobook version up, but if you guys want to wait for the deep dive version, I'm gonna be working on it way heavier over the vacation here, over the holidays, because I've been meaning to do it this month, but there's just so much stuff to do.
Lots going on.
I will have the deep dive version up hopefully before the end of the year, but maybe we'll just open the beginning of next year with it. But if you buy the audiobook version now, you will get the deep dive for free. In fact, when the deep dive comes out, it's going to be priced the same way as the audiobook anyway. All right. So again, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I hope you had a good time here. I hope you have a good time with the deep dive. And Byron and I will be working together some more in the coming year. I'm really looking forward to the Dawn of Madness audio. Again, we have to get the logistics worked out first, but once that's done, actually the stuff that we do, our magic part, not the dev stuff, but the audio magic. Once we get a hold of it, it's going to be like that. So you guys have a good one, and hopefully we'll be seeing more of each other.
Have a great night, Jeff. Thanks for being here, man.
Good night.
Good night. All right. Well, if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, Dawn of Madness for the win. Yeah. So I could stick around for a few more minutes if you guys want to hang out for a little bit longer, or we can wrap it up and call it a night. Either one is good with me. So if you guys had any other, stuff besides, that you wanted to talk about or whatever, and immediately it begins. I gotta say, this platform has worked really well, I think. So I'm super excited about this. I think we're definitely going to use this again in the future. It seems to just effortlessly do everything I've been struggling to do for such a long time. So but yeah, so Shattered Seas, guys, it's out. You can get it on Amazon. Here's a weird paperback version of it with not for resale all the way around it. This was a proof one I got, so but it still looks good. So if you missed out on the hardback, we've got the soft cover here too. It was fun. Thanks for being here, Talieson. This was a ton of fun. Has anyone discovered any of him stuff in Shattered Seas? That's a great question, Russ. I don't know. That's a question for everyone else, I guess. If anyone has, I would imagine it's Phil. Yeah, really look forward to my Shattered Seas book arriving when Byron finishes them, of course. Yeah, yep, that's happening, Russ. Actually, yours is done. I just have to get it out to you. So yeah, soon. In fact, I probably have it around you. No, I don't. It's not in this room. Never mind. I don't have it in here. Yeah, I feel like people haven't or they did and they just haven't commented on it. That's also possible. But so one thing I kept waiting for people to find, but I think it's been too long since we did it. But near the end of Shattered Seas, it ties in with the little choose your own terror stories that we did during the reprint campaign. So I don't know if anyone's found that yet or not, but it's in there. So there is a little nod to the little choose your own terror story we all did. Oh, yeah. So when is that happening, Russ? Have they talked about when there's going to be that no-deal Brexit? Or hopefully there isn't a no-deal Brexit. But thanks, Bill. Appreciate it, man. But is that a soon thing? Is that like a January thing? Luckily, I don't have too many UK backers, I don't think, who asked for a signature. Apart from January, no matter what. Okay. Now you've perked people's interest. Have a great night, Psycho Czar. Thanks for being here, man. I mean, you could go ahead and tell him, Russ. If you want to Oh, from Italy. Wow. Well, thanks for being here, man. That's awesome. Okay, I was just going to see how many UK folks I've got. And I have 2. So yes, I will get those out right away. Thanks for the heads up on that, Russ. That's great. We'll see. We'll see if they figure it out. I won't spoil anything there. All right. Well, anyone have anything else they want to talk about or chat about, or we could cover whatever you guys want. Twisted Fables, Dawn of Madness, Deep Madness, Shattered Sea stuff. Going once. Well, I'm going to take that as... Oh, so how... Okay, so Russ says, how is development of Dawn coming along? It is progressing. So the Deep Madness stuff, that hasn't gone as well as we had hoped. Part of it is because we're really focused on Dawn of Madness and Celestial right now. So we haven't had as much forward progress on that stuff. Good night, Anthony. Thanks for being here, man. Great having you hang out in the stream with us. But yeah, so it hasn't progressed as well as I had hoped. So we're probably not going to have the whole, not expansion. It was actually going to be probably like a standalone game of the Tower World stuff right away, and yeah. So it's moving, but it's not moving great, I wouldn't say. But we're still hoping to have that the reprint campaign. I don't know if we'll hit Q1 yet or not. That kind of depends on how everything goes with the team. But on the plus side, that means that we are also prioritizing the other things that everyone has already paid for. So that's good. Not just creating random stuff. But or creating more work for ourselves than we have time to fulfill. But yeah, so we're making good progress on Dawn. There've been obviously some delays and stuff there too, but it's coming along. I have a bunch more stories I'm going to send off to the guys hopefully later today. And Dan. Okay, so Dan's. Oh, you bet, Miguel. I'm glad to help, and I'm sorry I couldn't. I couldn't answer people verbally as much as I wanted to, or as I normally do in this stream. But hopefully your answer got taken care of there. So, so Dan's wondering, when is Celestial going live? So that's a great question, Dan. We're hoping to aim for next year for it. We're really shooting for next year. So currently it's sitting right around the middle of the year that we're hoping for. Now, having said that, both Dawn of Madness, Twisted Fables, and the reprint we're all hoping to be earlier than they ended up being. So we have kind of a bad track record of shooting for summer and ending up in fall. But Twisted or Celestial should hopefully go live mid to late next year is currently the plan there. And then Russ, you're mentioning the reprint. Yeah, so we do have some other stuff for the reprint. It might not be quite as amazing, as grandiose as, I was originally hoping with all the Tower World stuff. But yeah, we do still definitely have some stuff planned for the reprint, and they're still finishing up some stuff. Looking for Spanish-speaking collaborators for the next live show, and let's all hear something in our language. Oh, that's a good idea, Miguel. I don't know. I don't really know who I could get, though. Oh, Phil. So Phil is asking, at what point did West get wheelchair bound as he is fully mobile in Shattered Seas? Actually, Phil, near the very, very tail end of the book, he is no longer mobile. Maybe I didn't make that clear enough. But he's not actually mobile near the last time you see him. The last time, I don't want to spoil anything for people, but at that point, he is no longer mobile. So he, during that final encounter there, he's being pushed around by in his wheelchair thing, but because he ripped himself to pieces. But anyways, can you tell us something about it, Celestial? Sure. So Celestial is going to be, yes, as Russ says, it was after he got hurt. But back to Celestial. So Celestial is current. Now, the last I heard, and this changes because the game's still in development and they're still working on it and making it the best it can be. But it's currently planned to be like a 1 to 2 player game, and it's going to be a story-driven skirmish game. So one way that the team I know looks at it as kind of StarCraft in a board game. So that's definitely one of Roger's favorite games is StarCraft, and he is putting some of that into this. So it will have a few different modes, at least as far as I'm currently aware. So it will have solo, and it will have PvP, and it will have co-op. At least that is the current plan. So, hopefully all of that comes to pass when the game comes out. So the minis that you've seen, those are... is Celestial a true skirmish, or will it be governed by a grid on a board? William, Bill, sorry. I'm actually not sure about that. I honestly, full disclosure, I haven't been as involved in Celestial yet, because I've been very involved in Dawn of Madness and then Twisted Fables recently. Well, and then Shattered Seas. Getting Shattered Seas out to everyone. But so I can't tell you for sure if it has a grid or not. I know there's terrain that they're hoping to do. I know that they're hoping to do like some standing terrain, but I don't know yet if there's going to be like, I would assume there's probably going to be an actual game board, but I could be wrong about that. But I'm kind of guessing that it's probably more of a grid on a board, but I can't say that for sure. I could be completely wrong about that. Yeah, right. Yes, he definitely likes StarCraft. But I actually haven't played Hate, Bill, so I can't say for sure one way or the other on that one. Yeah, I really can't compare the two because Hate is one that I looked at on Kickstarter, but I don't think I actually ever backed it. I mean, I didn't because I don't have it, but I don't think I even backed it for $1, which I often do. So I can't tell you too much one way or the other, unfortunately, about that. I do know that. So the minis, the minis are all going to be hips. Oh, Phil, good. Brexit shouldn't affect the books as they are VAT exempt. Well, that's good to know. Great. So last pick I saw of Celestial on the internet wasn't on a grid board from what I remember, but it could easily have... Okay, so some what's the word? Confession time. The board you saw them on, Russ, was a board that I just cobbled together for Celestial, because I was told, hey, we're not going to be able to bring Celestial to Gen Con. And I said, well, why? And they said, well, we don't have a board. And so I said, okay, I'll make a board. So they said, really? And I said, sure. So the chintzy board that we ended up with there was because of me and my wife just throwing stuff together. So that really had nothing to do with the actual game. And it actually wasn't even in a playable state at that point, really. Anyways, we were just able to show some of the game mechanics and that sort of thing at Gen Con. But so having a whole discussion about Brexit here. Shem knows. Yeah, exactly. You're like, the minis look great, but the board, just not sure about that board. And that's why. Yeah, so we won't be shipping any models with the book, Phil. Oh, speaking of which, I need to get back to you because you were asking about that one mini. So remind me, send me another message or something. You talking about the Lucas Kane mini and the book together reminded me of that. So, but anyways, so I think did I actually answer your question about Celestial? Minis are hips, so they will need to be assembled. But because of that, we're able to do some really amazing, cool things with the minis. So all the minis that are currently resin ones will end up being in the game at some point. Maybe not initially, because a lot of those minis come in later in the story. Like Gagong doesn't start off looking like he does in the mini that is currently available. Yeah, that's yeah. hopefully so, Russ. I really hope everything works out for you guys over there, and that there aren't major problems with Brexit and all that sort of thing. But yeah, here's hoping. But yeah, so back to Celestial. Then there'll be a lot of story in between the missions and that sort of stuff. And there's a ton of space to potentially expand it. Like we could do books for that and all sorts of stuff, because the universe is huge and the story is epic. Like it is. I've always kind of thought of it and described it as like Chinese mythology meets steampunk meets cyberpunk meets Lovecraft meets Game of Thrones. So that's kind of the how I've always described the story for it, as well as kind of the overall look and aesthetic and that sort of thing. But yeah, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be a really cool, very different game. Like as of last I heard, there is no dice in it. It's entirely card driven. So are the Celestial Resin models available to buy currently? Yeah, they are. Let me get you the link, Russ. Apparently it's been a while since I've been to the website. Didn't show up instantly for me. There we go. So yeah, they are all available at shop.celestialgame.com. Not all of them, but we've got a few of them on there. We've got Neva on there, and Nicho, and Gagong, and all the ones basically that have been making the rounds. Where in the world do they ship from? That is the question. I believe they ship from Spain. Bet you weren't expecting that answer, were you? But they are... Adam, your comment is great. But they are sold by the same people that make them, which is Big Child Creatives. They're the people who sculpted them. They're the people who did all that stuff. And so they're also the ones who ship and basically sell them. So they're on kind of a weird schedule in that they only ship them like every so often. Like they were doing once a month, and I hope they're still doing that. But yeah, so it can take a while for people to get them. But let's see, I think I missed a few here. Bene, something I want to drop here is really a pleasure to see you talking about your work, Byron. You're so enthusiastic and involved. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Bene. And if I'm saying your name wrong, I'm sorry. But I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Dan Cable, Deck Builder. Not exactly. No, it's not. It's not Deck Builder exactly. No. Once again, I'm not familiar enough with the mechanics yet of it to really do it justice. Like there might be elements of deck building, but it is not a deck builder. But that is a very good question. I wish I could remember enough of the specifics of it to really tell you about that. But no, it's not strictly a deck builder. It's very different, honestly. It's going to be a very different game, but also very fast paced, and with a lot of stake, and also, as we are known for doing, a lot of story stuff in there too. Yes, Big Child are fantastic. They are great people. Oh, Twisted Fables. So you mentioning Twisted Fables, Bill, reminds me that someone mentioned a comment up here that I didn't get to. And I saw it and then I forgot about it. How about Twisted? Oh, it was you. It was you. Okay. So how about Twisted Madness or Dawn of Fables? Unfortunately, I don't have anything really to report yet on the Twisted Fables Dawn of Madness thing. Or the Twisted Fables dungeon crawler at this point. But, hopefully that's something that we will see more of in the future. So, and then someone else said something about Rapunzel. Could we please get Rapunzel as some human insect breed that webs and tangles her opponents? That is very visual, Adam. I like it a lot. I don't know that that's going to happen in the game, but I love the idea. Did the team look into single player for Twisted Fables? Yes, that is something we are definitely looking into, Russ. And I have a good feeling it's going to happen. Actually, I think that there's enough interest there, and I think they have a good enough idea of how to do it. So I do think that that's something that's going to happen. There's also, at least 3 more Fables currently in the works. So there's definitely going to be some expansions for it and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I definitely think there's going to be a single player for Twisted Fables. Yes, I am looking forward to them arriving at your door as well, Bill. Definitely. And, I appreciate all you've done playing Twisted Fables and, with the sound booth stuff and all that stuff. So, yeah, appreciate you being a part of the community. For those who don't know, Bill here, or William Letson, is not only Jeff's brother, who was on just a little bit ago, but he is a ninja off duty who has been a huge help in the Twisted Fables community and in the Deep Madness community and so on and so forth. So hats off to you, my friend. All right. Anything else you guys want to go over real fast? I see our comments are slowing down a little bit here. So last call again. Going once, going twice. Now I have to wait a little bit just in case there's a delay with comments, which I kind of think there probably is. Yes. Yeah. Bill is also the reason that we got together with Sound Booth. So he forwarded my info onto Jeff, and then Jeff was talking to me. Himley! Well, good to see you, man. How are you doing? Do we have any plans for a Dawn novel yet? Well, I mean, if there's going to be one, it'll be quite a ways down the road, Russ, because technically there's already 8 Dawn novels. They're just more of the choose your own adventure type. But we'll see. I have a feeling, though, I kind of have a feeling if we were going to do one, if there was going to be something specific with Dawn, I think it couldn't just be a novel. Because, we've got all of these books already, all these other stories that already came with the game. Good. Glad to hear it, Himley. That's awesome. But so there's all the books and all the stories already. So I think if we did something like that, I think what we'd have to do, and actually something we've talked about before, it just never really materialized, was like a Dawn of Madness graphic novel or something. I could see that being really cool. And we've talked about doing something like that for Deep Madness too, like a graphic novel sort of thing. But I don't know. We'll see. As of right now, there's been no traction on that, so that's just wishful thinking. But that's definitely something we've thought of in, and something I'd actually like to see a lot. But I think future novels would probably be more in the Deep Madness vein, because we can really bridge the gap between Dawn and Deep pretty easily. So same universe. I just yeah, I think we could very easily do one that covered both, kind of like Shattered Seas does. I mean, Shattered Seas honestly is it's weird. It's its own thing, you know. It's so anime. Dan, we have thought about doing anime specifically for Celestial. Celestial story is so huge. Yeah, we would love to do anime for it. We actually talked with someone at some point about it, but it wasn't far enough along, and yeah, so it kind of fell through at that point. But yeah, that's something we would absolutely love to do. So second Deep Madness novel or Celestial novel, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. There you go. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. Or both. When can we expect the next Dawn update? Soon, Carlin. Actually, someone was asking that earlier in the stream too. And yeah, so that's going to be soon. Get it done. Yeah, so we should hopefully have that out to you guys before too much longer. We know that we owe you one. You're definitely due for one. So not much longer. Check out the Dead Space animated film. Oh yeah, that thing's awesome. That is a great little animated movie. Yes, it would be. A deeper Dawn done like that would be awesome. Absolutely. Final question I can think of. Will we see a hat-wearing Rider character and Minnie in the Deep Madness reprint as a new player? I think that was going to take a lot of backer spamming of comments and that sort of thing. I mean, having said that, it almost happened in the last one. It was like so close, but then we realized, we don't really have enough money to make another mini. So it didn't. But it was close. So if enough people, actively rally behind it, who knows? Who knows what the future could hold? This has been asked, I'm certain, but how's TF shipping holding up? Been cutting, splicing movies, so haven't had sound on. Interesting. So what do you do for work, Himley? Anyways, it's going good. Like, as I haven't heard of any real hiccups or hitches or that sort of thing at this point. So yeah, I think at this point, Twisted Fables is doing pretty well. I haven't heard anything really bad. I would back it. Backer spam can be arranged. Challenge accepted. There you go, guys. Okay. Well, I guess I've caught up on comments here. So anything else you guys want to... no news is good news. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like the last I heard was like that, well, you guys all heard it too. It was in the last update. Was the game mat's done, the art's done for the play mats, the plastic tokens are ready to be mass produced. The minis are getting tooled, so yeah, lots of good progress, and I haven't heard any negatives, so that's good so far. I've someone asking when Fables Pledge Manager will close. We are going to leave it open as long as we possibly can. So it's probably going to be somewhere. We're going to leave it open as close to the deadline as we can. So because we're ordering extras of stuff, because we want this game to go to retail. This is our retail game. It's going to retail, dang it. So we're ordering extras of it. So even if we have to put in our order, we figure that we'll still have extra copies should people need to pre-order closer to when we're shipping. So we're going to try to leave it open as close to actually shipping as we possibly can. So several more months, definitely. Certainly through the end of the year, certainly probably through January. I would guess through February, honestly. March, we're starting to get iffy there. I don't know that it'll still be open in March, but who knows? Oscar, good to see you. I thought it was just an audiobook, but this deep dive audio drama is something else. Super cool. I know, right? I'm super impressed with what Jeff and the crew did there. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm very happy with it. And I've listened to stuff like that before, and I really enjoyed them. So when they said they were looking at doing kind of an audio drama type thing, I was like, all right, let's do this. But yeah, so Merry Christmas to you too, my friend, and Happy Holidays. Absolutely. And to everyone watching, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. All out of questions. Big thank you. You bet, Russ. Well, thanks everyone for being here. You know what? I think we'll go ahead and call it. We've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes so far. So, you too, Bill. You too. Well, thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate everyone being here, and thanks for being such awesome folks, and for welcoming Jeff, and thank you to Jeff for being on here with me. And like I said, happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And I'll talk with all you guys, well, in updates maybe before the new year, but in live and in person, probably that'll be after the new year. But almost done with my current audiobook, so yours is up next, Byron. Nice. Glad to hear it, Hibley. You too, Dan. Thanks so much. Have a good one. And just, still thinking to spend $50 in mats. That's up to you, man. I mean, we appreciate it. And good to see you on here, Elder. So happy Christmas to you too. Yeah, so have a great day, everyone. And thanks for, making everything we do possible. And hey, you too, Carlin. Thanks for making Shattered Seas possible. I'm super excited. I've been so happy with the response so far. So humbled and blessed that you guys have enjoyed it. So keep the good words flowing in, and and it's up on Amazon now, so that's cool too. So all right. Anyways, I've rambled long enough, I think. So have a great day, everyone, and good weekend, and good rest of 2020. And talk with you later. Bye for now.